Hi guys, welcome to Life with Syn. This is your girl Syn. I wanted to come and do like a sit down chit chat, just kind of get to know me a little bit. I know I started my first vlog recently, but I did not actually come on here and kind of introduce myself. So I felt like what would be a better way than to kind of introduce the channel and kind of tell you guys why I started the channel in the first place and what led me to starting a YouTube channel. Like I said in the previous vlog, I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel, but at the time I was not like mentally there yet for that, and I didn't have the time to do all that. So anyhow, yeah, I'm Syn. That's what I go by, and I've always gone by that name for years, Syn. And yeah, this is Syn's life. So I will be 43 in September this year, September 10th to be exact. And when I turned 40, I actually was, well, right before I was turning 40, I wanted to kind of like find people online, because YouTubers are usually in the age range of like 20 in their early 30s. There's a few of them that are probably like my age or so, but most of them are geared to like homes and like cleaning videos and that kind of thing. But for me, yes, I do have a home, I clean, I do all that kind of stuff, and you guys get to see the behind the scenes in the vlog part. But what I really wanted to do was to have a vlog and as well have a sit down chit chat once a week. So it'll be 2 videos. You'll get the vlog, and the vlog will be compiled of a couple of days. And then the sit down chit chat with me is pretty much just trying to get to talk about different topics and so forth to do with Syn's life. So first things first, right before I was turning 40 as a Black woman in the new millennium, right? People don't tell you how to navigate 40. They tell you how to navigate your 20s, how to navigate your early 30s. But after you hit 35, most of the time as a Black woman, there's not many people that tell you how to navigate that process. So I started going back to therapy about 6 years ago. And during therapy, I was getting ready to turn 40, and I came into the door and I said to her, I am stuck. I am stuck. I am trying to figure out my purpose. I am also trying to figure out what it is that I want out of my life in the next 20 to 30 years or next 40 years or the next chapters of my years. Because when you reach 35, as a woman, you're considered geriatric, especially for birth or late in life, children, that kind of thing. They consider you a geriatric woman. But I always feel like life is how it is. Your body, if your body feels great and you feel great and you're navigating your life, then you are as young as you feel. And so for me, one of the biggest hurdles for me was finding some stability. Also, branching back out into dating and getting into a relationship, and one that was healthy, that I could sustain, because I've been in relationships. I've had partners where I lived with them. We've stayed together for years, and there was no purpose or anything like that. So I felt like, how do I pivot through 40s, right? Because 50 is going to creep up. It's coming. We're not going backwards. So I need to know, how do I pivot to 40? How do I pivot to this life that is going to present itself to me as it comes throughout the next couple of years and so forth? So I told her, I said, I wanted stability. I wanted change. I also wanted to think about some of the different things in my life and where I'm going. So the first thing we discussed was me buying a house. I had moved to a new city. I was here probably about 2.5 years when I moved to Tennessee for a job. And I moved all the way from Portland, Oregon. I lived there for a while, worked at a company, and I transferred to Tennessee to work on a project. And I really enjoyed being here in Tennessee. It felt like home. You know, like you go someplace and you're like, oh my God, it feels like home. This is what it felt like for me when I got here. And so I started to think, how do I let myself live here? Not physically, but mentally, because you can live anywhere physically, right? But if you're mentally not there, that place, that surrounding, it's not gonna work for you. And so one of the things that I really truly wanted to do was live here mentally. And so I started to think about the next chapter in my life. I was getting ready to turn 40. I had been here 1.5 to 2 years. And I was just thinking like, girl, what is it that you want out of life? I was dating. It wasn't successful. I was out there just dating all over the city of Nashville. And I just felt like I needed more. So what I did was I started to think about the first steps, because it's all about step process and stuff like that. So my first step was I needed to find a house. I needed to get a house. I needed to get something that was mine. And I needed to start there, because that's the first step, right? Stability. Because now I'm here. I didn't want to live in an apartment anymore. It was convenient because my job was in the location and I wanted to get into the job at ease. So I used to take an Uber to work or a Lyft to work, to the grocery store. I didn't have a car at the time, because when I lived in Portland, I lived in Vancouver and I commuted to Portland every day. And when I lived in Portland, I didn't have a car. I had the tram. I had the transit system. I loved it. It was great. I used to be able to go everywhere I wanted to on that train. And then I moved here and was like, oh, darn, I have to get a car because there's really no public transportation here. And everything's like highway to highway. It was just a mess. But I love it here. I love it here. So I was like, I got to get a house. I got to get a car. And I don't want to live in a city, because at 40, yes, not only that too, here's another thing. I was becoming an empty nester. My son was graduating high school. He's currently 22 right now. Excuse me. But he was graduating high school. And I felt like, oh my God, he's getting ready to leave. And so what am I going to do? I'm a single woman. I'm going to be buying a house by myself. Like, what in the world are you doing, girl? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to figure this out. So I bought the house in 2018. We moved in, and like I bought the house, say May, and by August, my son was already gone. And I was by myself. So I'm sitting here like, oh my God, this house is mine. It's big. What am I going to do with it? It's 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a bonus room, all this stuff. You know, I was like, what in the world am I going to do? So I ended up like just talking to my therapist, and I told her, I said, what am I going to do? He's leaving. And she's like, well, you have projects you said you wanted to tackle around the house. So why don't you just tackle those projects while he's gone? And, you know, and then things will start to fall into place. And lo and behold, that was exactly what I did. I knew I wanted to paint, because the color that you see here on my lovely wall in the office, this was the color downstairs in my living room. And let me tell you something, I hated it. My living room was dark, it was dreary, and I was like, I need to get something bright. Now, I suffer from these seasonal depression, but you know, working through it through therapy, I've found the balance on how to deal with my depression. So she's like, get rid of the dark walls, get rid of the dark walls. I have not done this because my office is upstairs, and I have not done anything as far as painting to the upstairs portion, because there's a bedroom over there, there's my office, there's a workout room and a little lounge. And so I did nothing yet. So we are in the process of changing this. So you guys stay tuned, subscribe. Don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, and leave that, you know, hit that notification bell so you can come and see me every week, twice a week for the vlog and a sit down chit chat. Not get ready with me, because this makeup is a quick thing and I'm not a makeup artist. So yeah, so we got rid of the walls downstairs. So in the living room, I went to Home Depot. I bought a can of white paint and came home and painted the whole entire living room walls white, except the one that where the TV is sitting on, and that's the accent wall, which is currently now in a light bluish color. And it was just amazing to have white walls in the living room. I didn't spend a lot of time in the living room. I found I was spending a lot of time in my room because I was coming home from work. I was bored. I was tired. I was just monotonous, just doing nothing. And so I then decided to get back out there and start dating again. So I started dating again. Within a year of me moving in, I started talking to someone. It didn't go as planned, which is normal, you know, it didn't go as planned. So we ended things. And a few months after we ended things, I met my current person. And he's just the light. He just makes me laugh. He makes me smile. He makes me feel complete. And so we met, we're enjoying each other's time. It's going on a couple years now. Things are happening, right? So I'm drinking peppermint tea. I do that at night. You guys heard me talk about it in the vlog. And so, yeah, so that was what was going on. But I still, before I met him, let's go back to before him. Before him, I was feeling incomplete because, one, I didn't have any girlfriends here. And, you know, as women, we need a tribe. My tribe was in Boston and New York. My two best friends, Nina and Nicole, were nowhere to be found, right? Nicole's in New York City. Nina's in Boston. She's traveling, you know, back and forth to our country. We're all from the same country. And, you know, we just kind of just doing our thing. And I talk to Nicole every single day, like literally every single day. I talk to Nicole. There's no missing a beat. Sometimes we'll have a moment where we don't talk to each other, but we're like this. She's like my first best friend. Nina's kind of like the best friend, but not that's close, but we're there. So we're talking. I was telling her about discovering myself. I want to get out dating. She's like, yes. Start going out, buying clothes. I am not like, I dress well. I put myself together well. My problem is I don't have style. Like, I feel like I don't have extra style. I'm feminine. I'm very ultra feminine. So I like nails. I don't have any on right now. We're going to fix that so you won't worry about it. I love wigs. I have natural hair. I maintain it. It's about shoulder length right now because I'd cut it a couple years ago into a bob. So it's growing back and I haven't really done anything to my natural hair, but I love wearing wigs. I started out with synthetic wigs to kind of give myself like just a playing field. Like I said, navigating 40, especially when in your early 20s and 30s, you didn't wear makeup. You didn't like, I grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s, you know, and the late 80s. So I didn't really do a whole lot. Like I don't wear lipstick. I used to wear my hair back in a ponytail, like straight back, slick back. That was the only style you would see your girl wear, a few little swoops here, and that was it. It was just like plain Jane. And then I discovered makeup in my late 20s. My sister took me to MAC, did a full face of makeup, and I hated it. One, the makeup itched my face. And so I found out that I am allergic to certain makeups. I need to wear mineral products. So yeah, the makeup itched my face and I couldn't wear MAC or anything. It was popular back then. When it first came out, every black girl was NC. Whatever that number was, we all were that number because they didn't know how to match them undertones. But I found out that I'm a golden undertone and whatnot. So I started to learn those things as I go along. And so when, like 2 years ago, I started coming into myself as a woman at 40, right? I was like, I'm 40 now. I'm keeping up with my mammograms. I've been having mammograms before 40 because I had a lump in my breast when I was a teenager, and I got it removed I was thinking I was like 21, 22 when I got it removed, and most of my breast was removed. And I'll probably do a story time about that, because that was a traumatic experience, but it was also a healing experience for me, and I'll discuss that in another sit down video. But ladies, get your breast checked, do your self exams and stuff. So I went through that, and then just going to the gynecologist and the oncologist, and we're talking all about changes at 40. She's like, your 40's coming up. You're going to experience some changes, blah, blah, blah. And, we kind of talked about it. And I'm going to get real with you, girl. The minute I turned 40, I had to re-up, like stock up on my panty liners, because if I barely sneeze, the little tinkle would come out. Like, I don't know what happened between 35 and 40, but bam, it was a wrap. Like, you turn 40 and everything just says down there just ain't working for you in the way you think it should. I was like, slightest little thing, I would pee on myself, and I would laugh about it. Like, even to this day, I still laugh about it, because I'd be like, damn, every time somebody says something, I'd be like, yeah, girl, you hit 40 and you just pissing on yourself. That's how I would say it, right? And so I was like, okay, whatever. But it's a part of life. It's a part of women as we age and how we age, and we have to embrace it. And I feel like if we don't embrace that part of ourselves, we don't know how to take care of ourselves, I should say. And we should be able to embrace these changes and learn how to navigate them and take care of yourself while it's happening. So do your Kegels, get your panty liners up, girlfriend. Make sure you down there is right and tight. So get your Kegels. I'm doing mine right now. Exactly. And so that was 40. 40 came 2 years ago and introduced me to womanhood in a different realm. I started to think more about myself as a woman, not only as a Black woman, but a woman of a certain age. Am I supposed to dress a certain way? Am I supposed to do, like, all the things that you think you're supposed to do because you've seen other people do it? Don't do that. Do not do that. Look at yourself. Think about the things that you want. Analyze your current life at 40 or right before 40, and just kind of figure out things about what it is that you're looking for. If you're in a relationship already and you think, like, for the last 10, 15 years, you haven't had time to yourselves, book a trip, a solo trip, a trip with your husband or your girlfriend. If you're a man watching this video, like, book a trip and go somewhere and have some free time. Like, I literally, about 3 weeks ago, Big and I went on our first vacation together, and we went to Fort Lauderdale. And we've gone places before, like Atlanta, to see my family and so forth. But we went to Fort Lauderdale, and it was amazing. When I tell you it was amazing, it was the best thing ever. Like, I didn't want to come back home. I laid out on the beach for 3 days. I ate really well. We walked, like, we did a lot of walking. It was so much fun just to be out and about. Of course, we were safe. We had our mask on. We're both vaccinated. And so, I was okay with it. We had a good time. I really needed the vacation. And I remember this conversation. Like, I called Big at work and I said, I need to get out of Tennessee. Like, I was like, I don't care where we go. I just need to get out of Tennessee. And for me to say those things 20 years ago or 15 years ago, I didn't know how to say those things. But as I turned 40 and I'm going to therapy and I'm talking about my wants, my needs, and we're unpacking some trauma and learning about who I am as a woman and seeing how resilient I am as a woman, I'm able to say I need a break. I need a vacation. I need to walk away from my current life right now and take a moment to myself. I've never done that before. Like, I've been on vacations. I took my son to Myrtle Beach for spring break and so forth. That was like a family thing. But I've never truly like gone on a vacation except going home to see my family and stuff like that. But it was just earth shattering to just be free and learning how to say that this is what I needed. Because most of the times we don't know what to say or how to say what we needed. So I love that. I love that about me. I've learned that throughout my 40s. I've learned how to say no and mean it. It's one word. It's a sentence. That's it. No. I've learned how to do that, especially to family and friends who like to come and take, right, step in the box. I've learned how to balance my life. I've learned how to do a work-life balance much better. I work from home now. I am one of those people who got caught up in the quarantine, and my company is not equipped right now, even though it's a huge company. Where I am located at is not secure for us to come back into the office. And so I am pretty much at home. So I've been working from home since March of last year. I had to figure that one out too. Like, I mean, I had to work from home. I'm like, shit, I never really worked from home. And so I learned how to balance my life, not being able to drive 45 minutes to an hour to the office every day, see the people that I've seen for these last couple of years. Like, they're totally everything changed. But I learned how to adjust, because while I'm home, I was able to rearrange some things in my living room, declutter my life, especially in the house, structure things a little differently. I was able to set up a little office for myself, because I've been talking about setting up an office upstairs for a long time and never got to it. And when the quarantine happened, then I was able to kind of go out there and, just check on Pinterest, get an idea, starting to think about my style, what makes me happy, what would I feel comfortable in. And I didn't want this big elaborate office. Of course, I'm actually going to do the downstairs into office. This is just a temporary space. But the bedroom downstairs, we're going to convert that into an office because we don't really need another bedroom. But we're going to do that. So I kind of felt like I'm learning a lot in the last 2.5 years. So so when I turned 41, what did I tell her I wanted to do? So in therapy, we kind of talk about different stages of different like themes for my life. And 40 was stability. 41 was trying to navigate through the stability and learning the boundaries and setting boundaries, because those are things that I didn't know how to do in relationship, family, friends, those kind of things. So we started doing that. When I turned 42 last year, one of the biggest things I said to her was, I need to think about self-care, self-love, and self-acceptance. And she's like, no, not self-acceptance. She's like, you've already accepted this new woman. This is a new woman. You've seen her, you've accepted her, you've embraced her, and you're in love with her, and you're working on making her better. I'm proud of you. She's always telling me that she's proud of me for the progress that we've made. And so I started thinking about why that keep coming up. Like, why self-care, self this? Everything was self, not in a selfish way, but just looking at myself and trying to find what it is that I want for myself. So one of the biggest things for me was skincare, wellness. And so this year, from 42 to 43, I've been trying to learn how to live healthy, live better, eat, healthy, try to exercise. I lost a lot of weight during quarantine because I was bored, and I just got out in the neighborhood and just walked every single day. Me and Big, we were on a routine. Let me tell you something. Your girl looking a little chubby because she has not been keeping up with her exercise routine because work has came and took over, because a lot of shit happened at work, and it just was like, woo, I digress. So anyhow, self-care. I wanted to do wellness. So I went back to the doctor. I did telehealth. I went back to the doctor. I got my blood drawn. We changed out my diabetic medication. 40. Women, heart health is very important. And cholesterol is very important. Stop eating the red meat. Stop. Be careful of what you're eating. Go see your doctor, get your blood work done. I'm all about holistic therapy, but because I was born with diabetes, I have to figure out how to control it, because I can do diet and exercise and it will go away, it would calm down, it would stabilize, and then something would trigger it, like stress, and boom, it's back to going through the roof. So stabilization is what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to avoid the medication, but I'm also trying to stabilize and learn how to do it a holistic way. So we're gonna get there. So we're on a 3-month trial, and in September, right before my birthday, I go back to see the doctor, and we're gonna discuss how things are looking from the last scans that we did, the last blood work and stuff. But I was at high risk for a stroke and a heart attack, and I recently found that out about 2.5 months ago. And I take a baby aspirin every single day to help with my heart and any plaque or anything on my heart. I like red meat. I like steak. I love a lot of steak. And so I ate a lot of steak in the last 1.5 years or whatever. But I was eating very unhealthy prior to the quarantine, and I got even worse. Like it got worse. Like literally it got worse. But since that has happened, since we discussed it, I have looked at my food differently again. So I'm back on trying different things. So you guys usually see in the blog where I get up in the morning, I'm having my coffee. She says she will not tell anyone not to stop drinking coffee because she needs hers too. And so my good thing is that I don't drink coffee all throughout the day. I can have that 1 cup in the morning and I'm okay. And then I can have an iced coffee maybe if I'm feeling it, but most of the time I have refreshers, and those are high in sugar, and I need to cut back on those. So we're going to be doing that soon, because I've been drinking a lot of those lately. But I eat egg whites. I'm taking my cholesterol medication, trying to get my cholesterol back to normal levels. So at 40, you're just creeping up. If you're not healthy prior to, and you have pre-existing conditions, when you hit this 40, keep in mind that there's a lot of other things that can occur. And so I wanted to change all of that. And so with self-care and wellness, I started doing that. I also started to look into skincare. I don't have bad skin. So I get like little pimples here every, like, when Aunt Flo comes to visit, she usually comes with a lot of baggage. So, but if I come close to the camera, I don't have like bad skin or acne. I never had acne as a teenager, and even as a young adult, I didn't really have acne or anything. And I didn't wear makeup until about 6 years ago, and not heavy makeup. Before it was just like light, trying some things out, but now I wear foundation, I wear powder, eyelashes, like I wear full face sometimes. So I've been learning about skincare. I joined the Ipsy packaging, and then I canceled because I realized you're taking my money, and I ain't seen no products in this bag that look like some of the influencers' products. So I was like, you're not about to get my money, because no, we're gonna figure some things out. So I started doing some skincare. I did some research on YouTube, the girls seeing what's good, trying it out. Like I said, I don't have acne, so most of my skincare is just making sure that I moisturize, because I have really dry skin. So I have great, I've always done face washes and stuff. I've incorporated eye creams because, of course, you know, it's all about sleep and all that stuff there. I just have a little bit of like dark spot right there, but I mean, that's due to sleep and lack of whatever and age. Um, so I've done, you know, incorporate the eye creams, serums like vitamin C serums, and different types of skincare I've been doing. I've doing body care as well, maintaining the body care more, like upping it. Now, when I say I'm doing these things, don't take it that I've never done these things. I did those things. The problem is I was just doing the basic stuff, you know, like just go ahead with the clean and clear, wash your face, put your Dove on, and that's about as much as you get, and some lotion, and that's it. But now I'm thinking about like facials, body, like massages and like lymphatic massages and that kind of thing. No, I did not have any kind of surgery, but, well, only up here. But I do feel like some people can benefit from like being massaged. Plus, I have a sciatic pain that really grinds my gears, and lower back pain. So this baby here, she needs like rubbing from the top to the bottom, from the rooter to the tutor. Right. And so, oh yeah, that's another thing too. Navigating the 40, let me tell you, girl, all the aches and pains, they come on like bam, bam, bam. Knees hurt, back hurt, arms hurt, everything hurt. But if you are willing to exercise, eat right, and be healthy and go on a healthy journey, you find that things are different. I even incorporated fish oil because I learned that I have inflammation in my body. And so, you know, I would complain about my stomach hurting me, my arms hurting, my fingers hurting. Like I braid my own hair and it's like tough. And she was like, you know, just incorporate fish oil. I do vitamin D. I take a probiotic. I take a prebiotic as well. Cranberry juice, you know, for the girl. Gotta make sure the girl is right. So cranberry juice and not ocean spray. Raw cranberry juice. Get on it. So make sure they tell you when you go. I also saw a nutritionist. That is one of the things that we as Black women don't really think to see, right? We don't think to seek therapy, and we don't seek nutrition. We go on to these little sites and we see people selling waist trainers. And yes, I do have one, so don't come for me. But because I ain't got no shape. You know, but we see waist trainers, we see all these quick fixes and these juices and all these things. And in truth, it's all about nutrition, like learning about nutrition, learning about calories, fats. Like when I first started losing weight, like back in 2012, when I first, like, because I was big, and I'll probably insert a picture and the before after type thing. But if you do want to see pictures, follow me on Instagram, lifewithsyn_78. You'll see it pop up somewhere here on the screen. And yeah, go on over there and follow me on there. Don't forget, once again, like the video, comment, subscribe. Tell me if you're in my age range or you're coming up to 40. How do you feel? What is it that you're trying to change? Is it a new leaf on life, or are you still in that same space you were when you were in your 30s? Have you embraced 40? Are you going to embrace 40? And how are you going to embrace it? So yeah, tell me all about it. And I hope to see you guys here back next week for another chit chat with me. Maybe I'll get ready, you know. I don't know. I'm still learning this YouTube thing. So, you know, bear with me as I learn it. I'm actually learning how to edit myself. And so that's kind of cute. It's nice. I'm enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying being in front of the camera. Oh, before I go. So, little bit about me, right? I'm from Barbados. That's where I'm originally from. I'm a mom. I'm also a writer. I write poetry. I have a couple self published books, and I'll leave them in the description below so you can look for all that content if you ever want to go check out some of my poetry. Also, if you follow my poetry page on Instagram, you'll see I randomly post poetry. Now, I'm not on writer's block, but I have not been writing as much because there's a lot that had happened, so I haven't really gotten to it. I'm currently working on another project, and it's called 21. And it's on pause, but it's still in progress. And so it'll be out in 2022. I'm going to self-publish that as well. So yeah, if you want to know about that poetry stuff, just go ahead and you'll see all that information in the description box. And then you can go over there and check me out on Instagram. I have a whole Instagram page for all my poetry. I also am a podcast host. I have 2 podcasts. One of those podcasts are adult friendly. And so we're not going to talk about it. But the other podcast is geared toward like self-help, life coaching, just random. It's called She Talks Life, like Syn's Life, or Life with Syn. It's She Talks Life, and I air 2 episodes a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and one of them is a regular episode. It could be about pop culture, politics, news, whatever. And then the other one is kind of like an awareness episode where I bring you a topic so that you can be aware of and what's going on. And so if you want to check that out, the link for that will also be in the description for the She Talks Life podcast, because that's the only link I will be giving out. The other one, which is the adult content podcast, if you want to hear that one, you have to actually subscribe to the page on Patreon, and it'll be at the $5 tier where you can go onto my Patreon and you can get in there and listen to the podcast. So, in the meantime, I want to say thank you so much for joining me this evening. I actually enjoyed doing this, and I'm going to do some more of these sit downs. I think it's really informative, especially with me pivoting to 40 and navigating the 40-ish life. 40 is not the new 20, boo, but 40 is the great part, the great place to start living a brand new life once again. So I've chosen to live better at 40 and beyond. And so join me on this journey every week as I discuss something new that inspires me while I'm navigating 40. And I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.